It has just been a crazy last few days. Multiple companies have announced new handhelds, and some of my favorite ones have always been from AYN. And they make the Odin and Odin 2, of course, but with their most recent announcement of the Odin 2 Mini, in my opinion, this might be the best handheld we'll ever see. Though that is just my personal opinion, I just really like the PS Vita sort of design aesthetic that they're going with. And it has a mini LED display, which is a very big deal to me. I really liked the AMOLED display on the 556, but mini LED is just, so to me, better. It doesn't have quite the inky blacks OLED does, but it does come out much brighter. The Odin 2 Mini has an 1100 nits peak brightness, which is just really crazy high brightness. It has a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. It has 384 adaptive local dimming zones. And on top of all of that, this is a 5-inch display. That is so tight tolerances. Just the amount of dimming zones so densely packed. I think this is the smallest mini LED display we have seen so far. The only other mini LEDs displays that I've seen have been on iPads, which those were like 11 to 13 inches. But this is a 5-inch display with 384, almost 400 local dimming zones. So on the iPads, I have experienced some bloom problems, lowering the overall black level of the display. But with how small this display is, how densely packed those dimming zones are, and how deep their contrast ratio that they're claiming at least is, I'm inclined to believe them. This looks like to be an amazing display on this handheld. And it has the same Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 2 that we see in the full-size Odin 2. The Mini has base and Pro versions. The only difference between the two, once again, is the amount of RAM you have. It has 8 and 12 gig options. The 12 gig does have more storage at 256 gigs, so bear that in mind unless that's really important to you. But it does have a micro SD card slot, so doesn't really matter to me because I just have all my ROMs on a micro SD card anyways. And you get all that at the price of $339, which is the same exact price that the base model Odin 2 starts at. But that's been perpetually on sale for $300, so I suspect this Odin 2 Mini would do the same eventually. But it just kind of bugs me, that price, $339, because this device, all of its features, its size, perfectly competes with the Rotary Pocket 4 Pro and Amernic RG55-6, which, don't get me wrong, those are two amazing handhelds, and this will be too. I just wish it was $100 cheaper, maybe make it like $250, because I feel like that would make this device hyper competitive. But if they do that, really, it would start eating into normal full-size Odin buyers, because the only difference between the two of them is size and design. And for me, at least, this is a much better design. I love my Odin 2, but I don't take it everywhere I go unless I have like a bag because of its size. But this is just on the cusp of being too big to carry around, and if it's like winter, it would certainly fit into my jacket pocket. So when winter comes and I have this device, probably, it's gonna be fantastic. This will be my new favorite device when it comes out, which it comes out in late June. At time of recording, pre-orders have already opened up because right now it's the 21st and they started on the 21st and they close by June 21st. So basically everybody who buys and pre-orders this device should be getting it apparently in late June, but AYN has been kind of bad with shipping in the past. So if you have had a bad experience, maybe wait until after this device has been up for like a month and to reliably get yours in time when you expect it. So it's just a tiny little asterisk. You shouldn't experience any problems, but there have been reports in the past of minor issues. But just to keep you, the consumer, informed of, the habits of these companies. Outside of that, it comes in 2 colors, which honestly, I don't really care about most of the time, unless it has a clear option, and I would always buy the clear because seeing into your device is very cool. Unfortunately, that does not matter in this case because it comes in 2 colors, black and white. It has Hall effect joysticks, active cooling, brand new Wi-Fi 7, a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, front-facing speakers, and it has all of the buttons you could possibly need, and it's amazing. I love the design of this device. It reminds me a lot of the GPD Win 4 from a few years ago now. Basically, took the idea of a Vita, made it kind of fat to accommodate a full Ryzen 700 something or other. That device was really cool. In this device, the Odin 2 Mini takes that idea of a Vita, makes it just a skosh bigger, just a skosh, putting it in between the Odin and the Vita in terms of size. It basically is the perfect middle ground between those two, and it just offers so much more performance. It has the same Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 2 that we've seen before. That means being able to upscale GameCube and PS2 games all the way to 1080p, be able to play virtually any fucking portable game system out there. You could play a lot of Nintendo Switch games at incredible details and without a sweat. And you might not get terribly great battery life if you do, Nintendo Switch emulation or something like that, but you can play all the retro systems up until GameCube and PS2 just so well. And the cherry on top, it supports 65-watt fast charging, which is just so convenient. That means from dead to being able to play again is 5 minutes or less. Not saying it's a huge amount of battery life you gain from doing that, but the idea of it, you forgot it and it's dead, and then you plug it in, you gotta wait for it to, get enough juice to turn back on, like I have to do for my iPad whenever I forget it and I fell asleep watching YouTube or something. It's dead, and I gotta plug it in and wait several minutes for it to think it has enough battery life to turn on finally. But with this, it shouldn't take that long at all. Jumping back to the most important feature, in my opinion, is the display. We all loved the 556's AMOLED display. It was beautiful. It is still beautiful. But this mini LED display is going to be a game changer, in my opinion. It will look so good. Mini LED looks so good at smaller sizes. The moment you start blowing it up to larger and larger screen sizes, the blooming issue becomes a little bit more noticeable, especially if you use something like the Pro Display XDR from Apple. It's a little noticeable. But on the smaller and smaller you get, the less noticeable some of those problems get. And especially with the density of local array dimming zones on this display, it's going to be phenomenal. I would love to hear what you guys think about the Odin 2 Mini. Are you interested in buying something like this? Is the Odin 2 Mini the device you've been waiting for? Any owners of 556s kind of regretting their purchase now? I would love to hear what you guys think about this down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media goers down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.